Let's go, man. What's happening, people? This is everyone's A Pundit episode 90, episode 90, people. Glad we reached this milestone here. We'll be even better when we get to 100. If you are new over here, over to Views TV Official, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And also hit that like button on this video because this is going to be a very, very, very interesting stream today. But we have two debutants in the View studio. It's an honor and a pleasure to have them both on. If we can start with yourself, please, Don, if you would like to introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and who you're repping, and also any channels you want to plug as well.
First of all, big up. Thanks for having me. Big up to yourself and Patrick as well. And good luck on the channel. Big up, Igal, as always, together on another stream. Obviously, I support Liverpool Football Club. Been supporting them since 2003. Long ass time. Don't get me started. What's 4 plus 1? What's 4 plus 1? That's what I thought. So big up, everyone. Obviously, support Liverpool. My channel, as you can see over here, this is football. It's a channel for all football fans, not just a specific group. So, make sure you head over and subscribe to this channel as well, and smash the like button. And thanks for having me. I really look forward to this one. So big up for themselves.
Brilliant. Thank you for coming through. Igal, please do the same. Introduce yourself. Let them know who you're repping and also any channels that you want to plug as well, sir.
No worries, Gary Neville. We got Jermaine Genius ahead of us. We got Jamie Carragher right here. Where is he? Yeah, he's there. There he is. And yeah, you guys can call me good old Ian Wright. I'm an Arsenal fan. My name's Igal, and my channel is where is it? It's right there, EGTV. So yeah, if you can go check that out. Also, we cover Arsenal stuff. I used to do a lot of UFC and some basketball stuff too, but I haven't done a lot of that lately. But I definitely am going to try to get back into that. Big up to Dan in the chat. And yeah, honestly, guys, it's been a good week for me. I'm not stressed at all. I'm just chilling.
Yeah, to add some context for everyone that's just tuning in, Igal's the Arsenal fan with the crazy shouts, so we'll get into it. He's had some shockers over the last couple of months.
Like what?
Don't worry. We'll get into it.
You've already had a shocker to start. How are you saying Genius, Neville, Carragher, and then you give yourself Ian Wright? Give us good players as well. Like, can I get someone good? Like, you're giving me Carragher? Can I get Van Dijk? Like, can he get like Ronaldo? Can we get like Gareth Bale or something? Why does it have to be thinking players? Some good ones.
You missed the whole premise. It's pundits, right? Everyone's a pundit. So
I got it.
Everyone's a pundit. Then you're a pundit. Fair. I gave you a good pundit. To be fair,
I'm gonna drink more coffee.
He's the worst pundit out of all of us, so it makes sense.
But yeah, all love, all love.
Are you gonna say you have to score a goal to win the game again?
Huh? What game?
Just keep it moving. The joke.
I got that one. That's what Genius said. You have to score a goal to win a game. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forget Genius.
Yeah, forget Genius. Anyway, Pat, introduce yourself as well.
Yeah. What's happening, people? I'm your boy Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, it represents T. Let's go.
Let's go. And I'm Semps, people, and this is Views TV Official. Let's get into everyone's pundit, man. So let's round up this weekend's games. We had Brentford 2, Watford 1. On Saturday, lunchtime kickoff, Man City 1, Wolves 0. Start of the penalties. But we didn't see a penalty in this game. Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. Chelsea 3, Leeds 2. More penalties in that game as well. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. Penalty. And Norwich 0, Manchester United 1. Penalty again. Helped them get all 3 points. Brighton and Tottenham were postponed this week due to Tottenham having a COVID outbreak. Burnley played out a 0-0 draw with West Ham at home. Leicester 4, Newcastle 0. I want to get your thoughts on that, guys. Don and Igal on Newcastle. Crystal Palace 3, Everton 1. Same old for Everton, man. They just can't seem to do anything. But where we're going to start this week, we're going to start with the team who managed to win convincingly without penalties. Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. Igal said, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm cool. What are you saying, Igal? What are you saying? After this weekend, are you happy?
Listen, I'm happy that my team did it the old-fashioned way. We scored goals. We didn't need to resort to just winning by using penalties. And you know what? If we had a COVID outbreak like Tottenham did right now, I'll tell you right now, we'd still have to play. They would tell us to go play with Eddie and Nketiah back again.
Stop it! Stop it!
And they would ask us
favoritism out here.
They would tell us to get guys back from loans and go out and play. They're babying Tottenham. But yeah, I'm happy with the overall performance for my team. They played well. That opening goal was beautiful. 16 passes to the opening goal. Then you've seen the second goal where it was a cannot give up attitude from Kieran Tierney to get 2 crosses in to finally get the header from Odegaard. And the final goal, which was Gabriel Magalhaes. Congratulations to him he's gonna be having a baby. So he did the baby celebration, and the whole team found out from him doing the celebration. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, they didn't know, no?
No, nobody knew until he did the celebration.
Oh, wow, that's quite nice. That's a nice touch.
Lucky you got a goal.
Hey,
what I would say, Igal,
goals in Harry Kane this season. That's all I gotta say.
Watching that first goal, I must say was a really good goal. I can't believe Southampton allowed that to happen, but you have to give credit to Arsenal. Can you, when you see stuff like that happen, does that give you more faith in Arteta? I don't know what your position on Arteta is. Are you Arteta in? Are you Arteta out? Does that give you confidence that he is getting his message across to the players?
I'll tell you this right now. It's Arsenal FC, not Arteta FC. So every single win, we don't have to discuss him. But when it comes down to it, I personally don't think he's good enough long term to get us to where we need to go. I view him as the guy before the guy. So, for example, if this was Liverpool, for example, I view him as the Brendan Rodgers, not the Klopp. If you're gonna go and look at City, I view him as the guy before Mancini. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as the guy who's going to get us where we need to go. But that opening goal was beautiful. But Southampton have been woeful. So can we really judge it? It's similar to how we beat Tottenham. We beat them convincingly, and then we ended up dropping off. So we don't really know how it's going to look.
See how he's used Tottenham. You lot play bare bums. Why are you mentioning us? You struggle to beat Burnley. You struggle to beat Norwich. Why not mention one of those teams? Don't mention Tottenham.
No. But I'm talking about convincing wins at home. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not. It just happens to be that Tottenham were a convincing win at home. And I happen to be there live.
I see you.
The question is, were you there? Did you go home early that game?
Did you go home early that game, Pat?
No, I wasn't there. It was an away game, innit? I wasn't there.
Okay.
I was watching on TV. I watched the whole game. You know what? If I'm in the stands, I would never leave the game early, regardless of the score. I mean, when we got smoked 8-2 by Bayern Munich, I watched the whole game, man. I like walking out and all of that. Nah, it's not for me, man. I'll sit through it. But yeah, thankfully I wasn't there because obviously it's never nice seeing your team lose, especially in a derby. So thank God I wasn't there. But yeah,
I've never seen Arsenal lose live.
Oh really?
No.
You're good. Well, how many games have you been to
many games then?
Yeah, I know.
Arsenal
I've been to 4 games. I've been to 4 games.
Awesome.
Fair enough.
That makes sense. Hopefully we can get a gal to more games this season and he will definitely see Arsenal.
My next game is United at home. So
brilliant. Yeah, you're gonna see an L that day.
Yeah, you talked up an L there, mate.
Yeah. Don, obviously you're a Liverpool fan, so you're sitting nice at the moment. You're happy. We don't need to see that. But what are your thoughts on Arteta? You know, Igal said there that he doesn't think, or he views Arteta as the guy before Klopp, the Brendan Rodgers before Klopp. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, when it comes to Arteta, I was off the group that thought I don't think Arteta was that bad as people make out to be. I think the whole Arteta, Oli, Lampard thing was just forced. Like they were just trying to put 3 young managers up against each other. I didn't think he was that bad, but I think my opinion changed that away game at Everton. That's when I fully just like, nah, this guy's not good enough, because I think his decisions definitely cost them the game that day. And listen, Everton, as we saw today, 3-1 loss to Palace. Like Everton are truly in the sewers of football right now. I'm sure we'll get into them later because I have loads of shit to say on Everton. But like, you can't lose that game that way. Bringing on obviously a bulked up version of Moreno when you're trying to basically not concede. I think that one was a howler. Bringing on Tavares, obviously, bringing on Nketiah, who doesn't want to be at the club instead of someone who actually wants to be at the football club is a bit mad. the overall decision making, in-game decisions, tactics from him, I just don't think are good enough. And I don't think he's definitely going to be the guy that leads Arsenal back to the glory days of like 2000, the early 2000s and stuff. I don't think he's going to be that guy. He might be the guy before the guy. I mean, exactly what Igal said. He might be the Rodgers to the Klopp. That could be something. But it just depends who they get after him. Because if they go down another stupid route, get another inexperienced manager, then it makes no sense. In my opinion, if they acted quicker before Aston Villa acted, they could have gotten Steven Gerrard. And I definitely think Steven Gerrard would have done a job there. Because listen, that man has beaten Brighton. He's beaten Crystal Palace. He has beaten Leicester City. Aston Villa were 17th. They're now 10th. So, let's put some respect on his name.
Yeah,
and
to be fair, Gerrard has done bits, and people forgetting he did win the league in Scotland with against a team who had won it like 3 or 4 years on the trot before he stepped in. So he is looking like a good young manager, to be fair.
Listen, people want to act like Gerrard was in a 2-horse race when he really wasn't. It was a 1-horse race, and he won the league, invincible Centurions. So at the end of the day, we can't deny that. And, and I think, look, at the end of the day, the stuff he did in Europe as well is extremely impressive. And I thought they should have got Gerrard. But anyway, listen, we will see now what happens with them, because Arteta is eventually going to lose his job. He's just going to lose too many games in a row. And I don't think he's the guy. I just don't think he's good enough. And will he even get a job if they sack him in the Premier League again? Will someone trust their life with Arteta? I don't think that's possible.
What I would say is that Arteta is a young new manager, isn't he? When I say young, obviously he's not a young person, but he's a young in his career. Igal, do you think the job was too big for him to begin with? And what are your expectations now for the rest of the season?
I think Arteta is not the real talking point. I think the real talking point here that we should be discussing is Aubameyang, because Aubameyang is the one that needs to go first. Some of these players are not good enough. And Arteta is identifying that these players are not good enough to play in the modern game. Some of them do not have the work rate. That's why guys like Mesut Ozil couldn't hack it. But also we know it was political with Ozil. But Aubameyang at this point, we need to replace him. We need to get better strikers. Lacazette and these guys are not good enough. And
was you saying this before he signed the contract though, Igal?
Yes, I was on record.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm on record, recorded. On video with Don Robbie and all these guys saying we got to sell this guy, and they're like, "You're crazy." After the FA Cup, we got to sell him
before he signed the thing. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I'm like, 25 million for Barcelona. Take it, run, and get a new and don't even buy a striker. Why
was he saying that though? Because I can't lie, I didn't see it back then. So what made you come out with that all the way back then?
It's his hairline.
I didn't want Ben White. I didn't want Ben White. I said 50 million for Ben White makes no sense. We should be spending 50 million on a new midfielder to help us control games. Yeah. I was saying sell Aubameyang, sell Lacazette, buy midfielders. We have a young striker, and we have a young striker right now, and get another striker in. So that is my logic. My logic is, in order to build, you need a good midfield, you need a good defense. You can get away with having a poor attack. You can get away with winning games and having a poor attack, in my opinion. So that's why I always said, you know what, being top heavy is not beneficial to us. We need to build from the back going forward. And that's what we're starting to do with the defense. But until we get good midfielders, we're never going to be good. Look at it this way.
Sorry to cut you, but for what I've heard from a lot of Arsenal fans is that you're now defensively sound, you're defensively better, and going forward is where you're struggling. But then obviously you're going to struggle in games. So do you still stand by that logic that you don't need a good attack, that you'd rather build at midfield and the back and the defense?
The reason why we're poor is because our midfield lacks creativity, lacks solidity, and we cannot control games. We can't hold on to the ball. Brighton has better ball control than we do. Like, let's be honest. It's a bad thing. At the end of the day, if Mia Khalifa has better ball control than you, you're fucked. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. Like we can't do nothing. We can't do nothing without the midfield. And
you're so random, Igal. You're so random, man.
That's how I am. That's how I am. But yeah, personally, right now, banter aside, until we get a better midfield, we're gonna always be poor.
What's your thoughts on talking about midfield? Because I've had quite a few debates on here. What's your thoughts on Thomas Partey?
Thomas Partey was okay yesterday, but as long as his partners are youngsters that are inconsistent, and he has Granit Xhaka next to him, we're never going to be solid. We lack the mobility, and Thomas Partey is being asked to be a sole DM. He's not a DM. He's not. That's not what he is. His job is somebody who can get forward and get back. He's a box to box, in my opinion.
Okay, so
I think the Arsenal team needs to walk out to that song at the Emirates. I think it's an incredible song. They need to
the
Partey song, of course. Only one iconic song in Arsenal's history. They need to play that as soon as the teams come out. It's gonna create a wonderful atmosphere at the Emirates. Trust me.
I tell you what, shout out to 12th man because he give me joke, boy. When is Partey gonna turn up to the party? But you know what, Pat, do you have anything to say on Arsenal? You know, before we move on.
I think obviously beating Southampton at home 3-0 is a convincing win. I know this isn't the old Southampton. It's weird because Hassan Hüttl's decline has been quite scary. A few years ago, people were scared to play this Southampton team. They were saying that Hassan Hüttl was pretty much the next up-and-coming manager. He's obviously got the mini Klopp mold, and he's come from the school of Ralph Rangnick, but now he's looking like a washed-out manager with no real clue. But the Premier League is the Premier League for a reason. You've got to beat the team in front of you, and Arsenal did that to their credit. 3-0 at home is a convincing win. I didn't see the game, but I saw obviously people's tweets and updates, and a few people were saying that Arsenal didn't even play that well, but they still obviously ran out with a 3-0 win. So that's decent. But we all know Southampton aren't good this year. So like a guy was even saying, you can't really judge them off the back of that. It'll be the tougher teams coming up, but it is a way to bounce back. I am shocked though at the Everton loss, because obviously we do a weekly podcast, so we haven't touched on that game, and to lose in that manner, I was surprised because I thought Arsenal. I honestly thought Arsenal would turn the corner, and I thought they would go there and convincingly beat Everton, and I was surprised in the performance I saw. And if we're being honest, on another day that game easily ends 4-1, which is a battering. So you're quite fortunate with those two offside goals to be chalked off like that. And Everton, who are crap, as we saw today, won that game quite easily. So I'm not sure about Arsenal yet. I'm not sure, what side of the fence I lie on, because I did say a couple of weeks ago that I had them to finish in the top 6. But then when I see stuff like that, I'm still a bit undecided what I think of this team. Do you get what I mean?
What I'll say though is, we have to be balanced. We like to be balanced on everyone's a pundit. Everton were crap. They didn't do the job, but they did the job against Southampton, regardless of whether Southampton are playing poorly or they're in the decline. Yeah. Arsenal got the job and got the job done well. Miguel, sorry, just one other question before we move on from Arsenal. Given the fact that you don't really rate your midfield and attack, you don't rate your manager, what are your expectations for the rest of the season? Where do you think that you will finish? Obviously, you finished 8th for the last 2 seasons in a row. Do you see yourself finishing any higher than that?
This is where I almost like hypocrite myself, because even with all that, I expectations of my team and of my club is to minimum finish 5th right now, based on what we have in front of us and the other teams, and the fact that we're not in Europe. I still expect us to finish 5th based on that. But is it going to happen? I don't know. So I realistically, at the beginning of the season, I said 5th or 6th. That's where I hope we can finish and expect to finish. But if we could somehow squeeze into top 4, that would be a miracle.
So do you think 5th based on what then? Is it the other teams you don't think are doing well around you, i.e. your West Ham?
Based on hope.
I think West Ham will drop off. As we've seen, Leicester have been dog shit this whole season. Tottenham have been struggling. Who else is there really that's ahead of us? You think Wolves is going to finish above us? I don't really think so. So when it comes down to it, if we beat West Ham this weekend, the midweek, if we beat West Ham and Tottenham, and Manchester United don't pick up points somehow against Brentford, we're back up there.
Fair enough, man.
We're in the mix.
You're in the mix, yeah?
We're in the mix. At the end of the season, hopefully we can sustain it. But right now, it's just trying to stay in and around top 4.
Don's just shaking his head for the people.
Come the end of the season, I expect us to finish 5th or 6th, because Manchester United just have too much quality in comparison to us. But I do expect us to finish 5th or 6th.
So you expect Arsenal to finish above Tottenham then?
Yes, because Tottenham. I've said this from time. You guys need to fast track your rebuild, because you guys are in decline.
Big words there, boy, from Miguel. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Leave that like button. Hit the subscribe if you're new. Let's move on to Liverpool, who got a 1-0 win against Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa coming back over to Anfield. Were you nervous at any point in that game there, Don?
No, I wasn't. That game was very controlled. We definitely dominated the entire game from start to finish. I think Villa's first shot on target was like in the 75th or 80th minute or something like that. We totally dominated that game. Could have easily scored 3 or 4 an hour. They had plenty of chances. Mo had chances. Mane had a couple of chances. Ox had an okay game. Jota, even when he came on, had chances. Everyone just had chances, but we weren't clinical enough. We created so many chances in that game. Have to credit Villa, obviously, and the greatest English manager in the league right now for what they did. I think they were. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Listen, it's a fact. It's a fact. I am talking about facts. I am talking about facts. I only speak facts, brother. That's Gerrard is number 1 right now, and I'm not
over agenda and facts over love. Yeah, that's
fact over agenda 100%. So listen, when it comes to him, we have to credit him. Villa did defend resolutely. They were strong. And Tyrone Mings, listen, I've said this 100 times. I must say it again. If Tyrone Mings didn't have a left foot, he'd be a bouncer outside the club. That's Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings cannot play football. No one can convince me otherwise. He is probably the most overrated defender in this entire league. I have never in my life watched one performance of Tyrone Mings and went like, oh my God, he's a good defender. Not one time. So this is like Tyrone Mings is the epitome of English tax right there. Like he's just, and you saw how brain dead he is. You're tackling Mo Salah in the penalty box, literally trying to wrestle him. I don't know if he thinks this is WWE Royal Rumble or something, like just trying to kick him in the leg or something. It's just so brain dead. But we deserved the victory overall. I thought Emi Martinez saved Villa as well. In the first half, Mo Salah had a shot that could have easily went in on another day. Another brilliant performance from Trent. Lord have mercy, this man, I cannot describe him anymore. So look, overall, the most important thing for me as well is the clean sheet. Because now we're getting back to defensive solidity. Ever since the West Ham loss, I think we've gotten a clean sheet in every single one of the games. We're now the team with the most clean sheets in the league. So we have basically we're looking solid defensively again, and that's the most important.
We've gone above Chelsea in that regard, yeah.
Yes, above everyone, above City as well.
Interesting. No, Liverpool doing their thing, Don. You know, look, United fan aside, I'm a football fan and I'm not a biased one. I can understand. You know, I watch football. I've been watching football many years. Liverpool are doing their thing, man. Mo Salah is on smoke. Pat, I don't know if you saw the game.
Yeah,
it was
I did.
3 o'clock. It was a 3 o'clock game, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 o'clock game.
Chelsea and Arsenal were playing at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I caught the extended highlights. I didn't see the game in real time, but I have watched it. And yeah, Tyrone Mings, such a clumsy, klutz, stupid defender. To go in like that on pretty much the best player in the world right now, like it's just brain dead, you know. Like as much as obviously Liverpool were definitely the better team. At the end of the day, it's still 0-0. They're in the game. Like you don't need to defend like that. And let's be honest, Salah wasn't really going anywhere, was he? So it was just crazy and reckless to do that. But that's the difference between a quality defender and an average to crap defender. Quality defenders read the game at all times and know when and where to tackle, or you know when and why they should do that. You wouldn't see Virgil van Dijk sliding across the box like that, or anyone half decent. Even a Rudiger, even a Lindelof, even a Bailly, they don't do that. So
well, I'm not sure about Bailly, but Lindelof, you know what it is? It's the one-on-one defending, and that's what I think. That's where your Rio Ferdinands was so good. You see your highlights are good, but he got squared up, and Salah just
he lost his mind. He lost his composure. He lost all rationale. And it was a penalty, man. Regardless if he took him out on the first contact, second contact, third contact, whatever you want to say, it was a stonewall penalty, man. You can't do that, especially in today's game. Liverpool were good credit for the win, to be honest, like Don was saying, even though it was a 1-0. If it wasn't for Emi Martinez, that could have been 4 or 5. And I just think Liverpool right now, they look like the best team, man. When you look at everything, I mean, I think the commentator said in the last 7 or 8 games, they've scored 18 and only conceded 2. In all competitions, so they're firing, and they're looking good, man. They are looking good. To be honest,
They're looking.
Sorry, go on.
No, I'm saying they're looking good. You know, there's a comment here saying Liverpool squad players are playing well. Ox, Kamikaze, Konate, Origi, Igal. Obviously, we know Liverpool struggled with their squad last season. Do you think that's going to be a real key for them this season? Is trying to get their whole squad playing well?
Guys, give me a second. We'll be back.
I think Liverpool are the real deal. Just look at this picture right there. Klopp doesn't get shocked much very often. And this season, what the situation is, this season the situation is, if Salah leaves for those 2 games, or if anything happens to any of their players and they're actually injured, could they drop enough points in that short time period when their players are out that could lose them the league? Because that's what they're worried about. They're worried about, do they have enough when those guys are away for AFCON that it's going to affect them heavily? And AFCON, they might only miss 2 to 3 games at tops. So in 2 games, could they lose the league? Maybe. But at this point, they look like they're the real deal. And I think when it comes to Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, I think Liverpool and City are clear favorites ahead of Chelsea. And you got to say Liverpool are the real deal. After beating us 4-0, beating you guys 5-0, and then who else have they beat convincingly? They beat a lot of teams convincingly this season. So I think this is the most lethal Liverpool team we've seen over the past couple of years. We've seen a lot of good Liverpool teams over the last years, but this is the most lethal. Like, when it comes to, they come, they smash you, and they keep it moving.
You know what? I'm not sure about that. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but you're discounting Man City, man. Man City are very dangerous as well. And I know they're sometimes not winning games, but the way they're ticking, the way Bernardo Silva's playing, their defense is really good as well. Obviously, their keeper, it's a toss-up between him and Alisson. They're just as good, man. And to be honest, Chelsea are just as good as well. I think it's so tight.
Chelsea are in a false position.
No, they're not. They're not. They've had a few bad games, but look, they're still right up there. That goes to show
they're in third though. Why is that a false position?
I know.
No. They were, when they were in first. They were in first. Based on this season, I don't want to get into Chelsea too much because we're talking about Liverpool. But if you look at Liverpool's performances this season, you could say that they're playing a level above their opponents. You could say, what do you call it? Man City, they're playing a level above their opponents. Chelsea are just getting by games. They're getting by. They're just getting by. They're just winning. They're winning at the skin of their teeth. Sometimes they're close games. But personally, when I watch all 3 teams play, I can see Liverpool going out and smashing every team they face. I can go see City out possessing every team they play. To me, it just seems like Chelsea go out there and they nick wins. They're not really going out there and dominating games. They're not dominating possession. They're not peppering teams' boxes. Defensively, they're doing well, but when it comes to the attacking side, they're not looking good. And is it really sustainable to have a team that has no real goal threat? Like, let's be real.
I hear you. The sustainability thing is very, very important in football. So we're gonna come back. Well, as you said, we're gonna park Chelsea. We're gonna come back to them in a little bit. But Don, what I wanted to ask you was, Igal made a great point there about, you know, when your players go away for AFCON, and with the way the top is so tight at the moment, do you think that can impact you? Because as I said, look, it's very tight. We don't know what's going to happen over Christmas, but if after Christmas is still as tight as it is, can that impact you with your Salahs going away and whatnot?
Listen, there's 2 things I want to say. First of all, sorry, I just had to go open the door for my mom.
That's cool.
No worries. Big up, man. Anyway, the AFCON thing is just so overstated. Like, every single space I go into and every single time I go, someone's mentioning AFCON. Igal, you should know better. I already answered this to you 100 times. I swear, I don't know how many times I had to mention it.
You know.
First of all, if Egypt plays Senegal in the final, so it's Mo Salah against Mane in the final, they only missed 2 Premier League games, and those 2 games are Palace and Brentford.
He did say 2 games though.
Okay.
Fairness to Igal, he did say 2.
Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, Palace and Brentford. As much as some people go like, oh, you're Liverpool's depth, I agree with that. We do need better depth, but come on, Palace and Brentford, we can deal with them. I think we can deal. Like, even if even with Salah and Mane away, if you can get 4 out of 6, that's still respectable. Like, so I don't think it's going to be that deep. That's number 1. Number 2, as someone who watches AFCON, this is probably the worst version of Egypt I've seen my entire life. So Egypt are Senegal, I agree. Mane is probably going to get to the final, but Egypt are horrendous. Like you see, El Neni is a star in their midfield now. 20 years ago, he wouldn't have even made the team. Trust me when I say this. El Neni would have not made the team 20 years ago with their golden generation, Abu Treka, the ones who won 5 AFCONs in a row or 3 AFCONs in a row or something like that. He wouldn't even have made the team. So I think with Egypt, there's a high chance they get eliminated quick. So we'll probably have Salah back after a game, my prediction. But with Mane, he's probably going to stay to the end. But look, we'll be fine. And well, I mean, like, look, 180 minutes of football. Like, are we gonna say 2 games are gonna affect it that badly, where we can't recover? Also, Brentford is at Anfield, and Palace away. Palace away has been. People think Palace is our bogey team. It's not. Ever since that infamous night, I shall not speak of. Ever since then, we've been beating them home and away. We've been taking revenge.
Let's speak of it.
Yeah, that was mad.
I just
talk about the beach ball, yeah.
Mohamed Al Neni for the Egyptian national team is Rud Hullet, so stop dissing him.
Oh, here we go. I should have spoke more in the Arsenal section and hammered your team, but Gallo, listen, we're friends, bro. Live on Arsenal. Remember the common enemy we have? Let's focus on the common enemy.
To be fair though, it's good to get yourself and big up Chris M. I'm guessing he's a Liverpool fan. See, I wasn't aware until I asked that question that it's Palace and Brentford that those are the games and possibly a Leicester. So I definitely get what you're saying, why you would feel confident that you'll be okay. This is the Premier League though. As we know, anything can happen. These teams aren't mugs. And as you know, sometimes Palace can do a thing against you. Sometimes they can.
Brentford beat Arsenal. No game. Like I said, until you beat them, no games thing. Yeah, I mean, we can ask you about Brentford as well. So it's like it is what it is, isn't it? The Premier League.
We can ask Samps about Liverpool as well. Like, there's plenty of things you could talk about. What happened? Can you just do me a favor? Just the Chris M. Can you just pull up the Chris M. comment with the Ox false 9? Chris, listen, Chris. Let me just because he says never don't see Ox. Can you stop hating on Ox just because he's with Perry Edwards? Because that's the only reason you hate him right now. Because Oxlade-Chamberlain has been amazing this season. He has been amazing this season. Before he got injured, he was our best midfielder, Chris. We need to stop hating, man. He's been incredible. Give him an opportunity, man.
Is a little bit different, though, isn't it? Maybe he's saying that he doesn't want to see him in a false 9.
Listen, when I did a combined 11 with Igal before the Liverpool-Arsenal game, I put Oxlade-Chamberlain in the combined 11, and they laughed at me, and then Ox had a masterclass against them. So, he's been good this season. He's been good. I think all our depth has been good this season again. Origi as well, coming back. So yeah, I think our depth has been good this season. We don't need Hollywood signings like some certain club. We just need signings for our system.
Who's that certain club?
I mean, if the shoe fits in it.
I don't know, boy. I don't know. You see these Liverpool fans, they get their one title in however many years, and they've got so much chat now. But anyway,
Sam, can I ask you a question? How long did we go without a title?
For 30 years, no?
Yeah, and what's the longest period United have went without a title?
Say again.
32.
What's the longest period United have went without a title?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
No. I'm talking about my lifetime.
You went 41 years without a league title. 42. Last I checked, 30 is a smaller number.
Until either one is pathetic.
No, guys.
Right
now. Let's just stop right now.
Stop it. Listen, you don't need to kick in. I know where you're going to.
Don't start it. Done. Let's see this here now. So you've got City, Chelsea are kicking around. I'm seeing you're very confident. I'm thinking you think that you're going to be champions at the end of this season. Then
I don't.
You don't. After all of that chat, you don't think he's going to be.
No. But listen. I think we're going to win the Champions League.
Champions League.
Yeah, I think we're going to win the Champions League.
Another time winning the Champions League when you're not champions. I get it.
What do you know about Champions League? What do you know about it? When's the last time you saw it?
we're not gonna
When's
get
the last time you
into
saw a
this,
Champions League?
You can't ask me what do I know about Champions League. I'm not Igal or Pat. You can't
I
ask
get that, but when's the last
what I
time
know
you saw it?
about
You want to talk about your lifetime? How old were you in 2008?
Do you think that?
See
you're
how
gonna
he's skipping
win
the
this game?
question? See?
No, we're not talking. We're not talking about United now. We're talking about Liverpool.
I'll do it when we talk about United. Don't worry, I got this. I got.
You can. So
Listen,
you don't think you're gonna win the Premier League? No.
I don't know why we're catching.
Listen, can win? Yes. Me personally, I think Chelsea win it. I think Chelsea win the Prem and we win the Champions League. That's my prediction. Look, we can win the treble as things stand. We can, because you're asking if something is possible. Yes, it is possible. But the title race is going to be so tight. Like right now, we're looking at 3 teams who are just basically blowing everyone else off the park. So I think all 3 of them can win it. My prediction is Chelsea. But for the Champions League, I definitely think for us, I'd say 2 teams that are above everyone else in Europe, I'd say are Liverpool and Bayern right now. Madrid, Barcelona in transition. PSG, there's question marks. With Man City, it's in the history of the Man City. And with Chelsea, I just don't think it's going to be hard going back to back. Because it's like we've only seen Madrid go back to back. So I just don't see that scenario happening. So I think we have an incredible chance in the Champions League. Premier League, we have a chance as well. But my prediction is Chelsea.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. So that's your prediction there. Moving on then from Liverpool, shout out to the Liverpool people. We'll see what happens, man. Man City are going to pose a big challenge to Don's prediction there, whether it be Champions League or Premier League. Pat, how do you feel that Man City are going about their business at the moment in the Premier League?
Efficiently, strongly. I won't say quietly because we all know what they're about, but yeah, they're kind of. It's weird because as good as they are and as good as we know they are, I'd almost say disrespected because a lot of people don't really have them as winning it again. But if you really look at it, all roads lead to Man City pretty much winning it again. I mean, they've won 3 out of the last 4, and their team looks just as good now as it always has done when they win. So it's a weird one because, like Don saying, he has Chelsea as his favourites to win this year. So do I. But when you look at it, I'm thinking, why have I not put City there? Because they just look so good. And even if they win 1-0, it's a convincing 1-0. They pass teams off the park. They just literally kill you. You can't get near the ball. They just dead your legs. And it's like a surgical win. When they beat you, they might not blow you away like Liverpool do, but they just kill you. Like you're not in the game, even at 1-0. So I do think they're an amazing team. I think Don's right. Champions League, you have big question marks about them because they can go all the way to the finals, but Pep will always overcomplicate and overdo it. Where Jurgen definitely has that European pedigree over Pep at the moment. I know Pep's won it with Barcelona, but yeah, City are an amazing team, man, and I do think that they will be there or thereabouts as usual.
Yeah, man. Igal, do you think that the reason why some people leave City out is because they don't have that big striker? Do you think that's the reason?
Yeah, I do think people kind of overrate the whole striker thing with City because let's be honest, they won the league last year without using Aguero. Really, they had Aguero, but they didn't really use him much, and they still got the league. I think also another thing is Chelsea and Liverpool have bigger fan bases. They a lot of that has to do with the media and everybody else pushing them and propping them up more than City. City are still making their fan base. They're building them as we speak. And Bernardo, I don't know. That's not even funny. That's fast.
No.
Building their fan base.
I know you didn't actually say it to have a dig, but it was just a funny comment, man. It was funny.
Okay. And then Bernardo Silva.
It was funny. It was still.
Bernardo Silva right now. This is what happens when I tried it to be funny. I'm not funny at all.
But when you don't try, you're funny. See, so maybe you should just don't try. Be naturally funny.
There you go. But yeah, so Bernardo Silva right now is one of the best players in the league. After Salah, I would say he's one of the best players in the league on form. And this is what City have. Their strength and depth is so crazy that Gundogan can be sitting on the bench the whole year, the next year be their best player. Then you have Bernardo Silva sitting on the bench the whole year. Then he's becoming their best player. Riyad Mahrez, who was Premier League player of the season a couple years ago, is on their bench. You got Raheem Sterling, who's dropping 20 goals the season before that. Doesn't even really contribute this season. One of the best players in the league last year from outside of the top 6 in Jack Grealish comes and joins them for 100 million. He's out the team for Phil Foden. They just have too much quality to be forgotten about. And the other thing is, they're not dependent on one or two players. Chelsea, they're dependent on certain individuals. Conte's missing for too long, Chelsea's finished. Liverpool, if anything happens to Salah, they're pretty much done, in my opinion. But Man City, a lot of their injuries, they could have an injury crisis and still have enough quality to beat every team in the league. Their second team is better than my team right now. That's just how it is.
That is very, very true.
Chris M said a really good point just there. When you spend like 700 million on your squad, it will be like that. Do you know what I mean? So it is true. We talk about Man City, but the depth and the quality and abundance they have is because they spend crazy money.
But I will flip that slightly, because they don't just spend crazy money; they spend right money. You know what I mean? Bringing in the right players.
Not always. But Nathan Ake, 50 million.
I know, but you're going to make mistakes, though, innit? You're not going to get every single player correct. But we're just talking about their squad there, talking about their depth and the money that they've spent. You know, my team, for example, has spent a lot of money since Fergie's gone, but it's not necessarily the right money. So you do need the right manager to build the right squad. And I think a lot of credit has to go down to Pep for that. So, Don, your thoughts on City, because you don't think that they're going to win it. You don't even think that you lot are going to win it. You think Chelsea. Why is it that you overlook City?
Look, I think throughout... Here's the thing. The reason why last season is not a good example, because last season was a COVID season. It was the actual COVID title, because all the stadiums were empty throughout the whole season. And there was no real competition for Man City. Who were their competition? Bruno's led United with Ole as manager. Like, they had no competition whatsoever. Chelsea had Lampard. We had a large volume of injuries in the same position, which is why City, won it. I don't even think City were that great last season. They just had no competition, in my honest opinion. I think Liverpool were top of the league in January last season. And if we signed the proper centre-back in the January transfer window, we could have won it. But anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. When it comes to City, I just think, genuinely speaking, the goal scorer thing cannot be overlooked. Because even when Liverpool won the league, it was Salah and Mane who scored the goals. When United won the league, it was Ronaldo or whoever, Van Nistelrooy, blah, blah, blah. There's always someone who scores goals. When I look at that City team, I just see too many creators.
In 99, goals were shared all around the place.
By who? By goal scorers.
York, Cole, and midfielders.
Goal scorers, there you go.
Midfielders as well, Giggs, Becker.
I get you, but there's still goal scorers.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, with Man City, it's just like a bunch of creative players. You get me? So the thing, basically what I think is, the game that happened against Palace, the game that happened against Southampton, Wolves, they were very lucky. I think every single one was a penalty except the City one, in my opinion. They were very lucky to get that penalty. And those games can happen again. Because sometimes, basically, all you have to do is, I know it sounds easy, and it's not as easy, but like, just to explain my point, you can literally just park the bus against Man City. And this time, because there's no Aguero, because there's no Sterling scoring 20 goals, because you don't have even that winger that scores many goals, you can be good, you can be safe, you can end it 0-0, you can end 1-1. So I think City overall, over a 38-game period, you're going to have 6-7 games where they struggle to score. So, by the way, Chelsea have more goals than them, even with Lukaku out. So I think, with Man City, even offensively, they're not as good. And City not signing a striker is not a choice, because they wanted Harry Kane, but Spurs just didn't let him go unless the price tag was met. So if all things went to plan, Kane and Grealish both would have been City players. So I don't think it was the plan at all.
Fair enough.
I don't think you guys realize the whole City and Harry Kane thing is a lot more deeper than what we think. I honestly think that Harry Kane, he literally was done and dusted to go to City. it's just political at this point. The two owners will never work together, and this is not the first time that someone has not wanted to work with Levy ever again. So I think Daniel Levy messed up. He should have fast-tracked it. And if City were to have had Harry Kane, you want to know something? My personal opinion, he would have done well, but in the long term, he doesn't suit them. I think their way of going, it doesn't benefit them if they spend 100+ million on one player, because in the future, people are going to try to overspend on them. And a lot of teams, they don't want to get on City's bad book, because City and Chelsea are two teams that are cash cows. They're going to give you money for no matter what. If this was an Italian team that Kane played for, they would have sold him, because there's going to be another player down the road that they're going to want to sell, and City's going to come buy that player also.
Yeah.
This messed up Spurs in the long run, because no one's going to want to negotiate with you guys.
No, I don't know about that, because we're still going to get players in. I do agree that Harry Kane should have been sold, but if Man City don't meet the buying price or the asking price, then it is what it is, isn't it? Like, you can't bid 100 million for a player who is way more worth than 100 million when Jack Grealish went for 100 million. Harry Kane, let's not forget, he won the Golden Boot and the Playmaker the Year award last year. How is he worth 100 million? Right, so we don't want to go around in circles, because it is
they did more than 100 billion. Let's be honest.
No, they didn't.
You guys told them a price. They matched it. Next thing you know, you reneged. So it's not their fault.
Nah, I don't know about that.
But we'll move on from that, because that has been played out. But Igal, what was your thoughts on Jimenez's double yellow? Because that kind of played into City's hands right at the end of the first half. Did you see it? I think
Wolves got robbed. First of all,
serious.
Listen, that penalty was not a penalty. It hit his body, then it hit here. Like, how is that a penalty? Like, are we just kicking balls at people's bodies now, trying to get penalties? Like, what's going on? These referees, first of all, the whole weekend was an absolute shambles. I don't know the last time Arsenal got a penalty, but to see 5 games, one based on penalty.
But you didn't need a penalty. You won 3-0. What are you complaining about?
Look, Leicester won a game. They scored penalty. Manchester United won a game. They had a penalty.
Because this is the City section. Not everything is about Arsenal.
Let's be honest here.
Listen, there's an agenda against Arsenal. Everyone knows this. But what's the thing? A penalty.
We know it.
I was asking about Jimenez personally.
Listen, the Jimenez thing, let me bring it back. Jimenez, he's an idiot, absolute imbecile. You don't do that. But you know what? Rodri, he knew what he was doing. He kicked the ball. It was a reaction. Man, next thing you know, if that was Cristiano Ronaldo or Kevin De Bruyne or Mo Salah, they wouldn't have done nothing. They would have let it go. But the fact that it's them, the fact that it's Jimenez, and the fact that he just got booked 2 seconds earlier for something he should have never got booked for in the first place. John Moss is imbecile, anyways, as a referee.
No, it's crazy that he gave him a double yellow for that, because just in the Arsenal versus Everton game, somebody stopped Arsenal taking a quick free kick, and they didn't give him a booking. This whole instant give someone a booking if they get if they stop a quick.
What's that? Is it go?
If they stop a quick free kick, that was meant to be a genuine unwritten rule. But referees have been quite soft on it. So then to give it to Jimenez after he just got a yellow card, it was it's like they kind of threw the game. It's a bit mad.
But is that the referee's fault, or just referees in general for being inconsistent? Because if he's applying the letter of the law there, then that's more the referees who aren't applying the letter of being inconsistent. That seems to be
you've got a good point there, but it's just like sometimes you've got to use a bit of common sense, because even like a gal saying, when the ball hits your body and then arm, I thought they weren't doing that anymore. Like the whole ball to hand thing is meant to be hand to ball this season. Yeah, so it's like they're popping and changing. Yeah, so you're right, Semps. If they stick to the letter of the law every time, then cool. But when referees start interpreting things how they see it, that's when it gets a bit sketchy.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Wife's about to burn the house down.
That's all good, man. This is real life stuff going on here today. We got people coming to the door, wives burning house down. It's a Saturday evening, man. Big up to everybody. Shout out to Mimi in the comments as well. Love every time. So we've talked about Liverpool. We've talked about who was the other one? City. The other one involved in this title race is Chelsea. and Chelsea needed a late penalty to get them all 3 points at the bridge. Don, what are you saying? Because you do think Chelsea are going to win it. Is it because you're seeing stuff like this and you're like, this is what champions do? They grind out results, they get these late winners? Because this isn't the only one they've had recently.
With Chelsea, obviously, I know this is probably not the good game to talk after, but they are defensively solid. I think they're very solid defensively. So I just said I know it's the worst game because they conceded twice, but anyway. Listen, that's true. I get it, but overall they are solid defensively. They can grind out disgusting 1-0 wins. So I think that helps. Obviously, big up to Thomas Deitch as well with his incredibly boring, disgusting football we have to watch every single time. I literally, just a quick story about Chelsea. I watched Chelsea 1-1 Burnley, and I shit you not, I just laid down on my bed and slept for 5 hours after it. I'm not even trying to be funny. I fully had a 5-hour nap after Chelsea Burnley. It was that dreadful. And when it comes to Chelsea, like I trust me, 5-hour nap. Like my record for a nap came after a Chelsea game, and it's just absolutely, yeah. It's hard. It's hard. Look, when it comes to Chelsea, I'm gonna be real. As much as he gets criticism, I think there's only one world in which Chelsea can win the league, and that's with Lukaku, not without him. Once again, they need a goal scorer, they need to score goals. The game against Burnley, so many games, if Lukaku was there and Lukaku was available and he started, it would have been different. No one gives a shit about fluidity, respectfully. How fluid is Havertz? Havertz is just a taller version of Werner. Yes, in the future, he's going to be amazing, but in front of goal, he doesn't finish properly. So that's one thing. Even Chelsea fans will criticize Havertz's finishing. So that's something that no one can deny. When it comes to Lukaku, he can score goals. He knows where the back of the net is. In the next, I think there's about 22, 23 games left, if I'm not mistaken. In the next 22, 23 games, whatever it is, if he scores 16, 17, 18 goals, that's how Chelsea win the league. There's no other way for them to win the league because they need someone at the end of these chances. You cannot have your top goal scorer be Mason Mount and Reece James and expect to win the league like that. That's just a very unrealistic scenario. So I think when it comes to Chelsea, still I would say they are going to win the league in my opinion. But it'll only be a world in which Lukaku plays. So it'll be with Lukaku, not without him.
Fair enough. Igal, I don't know if you saw the game 3-2. Leeds fought hard. Do you think that we're now starting to see, because obviously they had been defensively sound up until recently, they're shipping goals, man. Was it 3 at West Ham, 2 yesterday? What are your thoughts on them? Are we now starting to see some leaks, even in Champions League? The leaking goals,
3 in the Champions League,
League as well.
Chelsea's not good enough to win this league, guys. Well, this whole thing about Chelsea is in the same breath as Liverpool and City. Let's be honest. This team is maybe a year away from being ready. They still have some senior players from their last title, but when it comes down to it, you look at their squad, they don't have the consistency for the 38-game season. They can do it in the Champions League, yes, because there is an element of you know what, you just have to be up for that game. And it's not as much, you don't have to be as consistent for the whole thing. It's 13 games in comparison
to competition, isn't it? This
is
why champions.
Liverpool have done it a couple years ago. City did it last year. If it was Liverpool or City that were in Chelsea's position that dropped down to third right now, I'll still be like, you know what, I still believe they have enough. But the fact that they are playing down to this level and everyone's saying, oh, they still have a level to go up to. Guess what? We have to see it. We haven't seen Chelsea play the best football this season. They've played terrible. They've been winning. They haven't been terrible, but they've been just winning. In comparison to Liverpool and City, they are a level below. And we have to acknowledge that. It's almost like we're putting them in that bracket. We're like, oh, go play with these kids. No, they can't play with those kids right now. They're not in that bracket. They need to chill. They need to relax, work their way up to that level. And I think by the end of the year, we're going to see them in third. And we're going to say to ourselves, oh, remember when we thought Chelsea were in title contention? That was funny because they're going to drop off.
You know what, Igal, I hear what you're saying, man. I had Chelsea, winning the league. They were, not conceding any goals. They were getting the wins. But you're right, man. When you look at, them versus Liverpool, and this is, you know, Chelsea are doing well, but they're coming up against a Liverpool and a City side at the moment who are looking really, really good. Pat, do you echo what Igal's saying there, or?
He's talking sense. Like, I can't knock what he's saying, but I said it on the TFT show on Thursday. It's like anyone that gives you a case for City, Chelsea, or Liverpool, you can hear what the other guys are saying, but you can't knock it. And I hear what you're saying, but we've seen Chelsea, this team, since Tuchel's come in, they pretty much, I think he's got like, he's number one in the form chart since he's been there. So you're discounting the top manager who's done it in the Champions League. Yes, there's an element of luck. I understand that it is a knockout competition, but they still won it. And since he's been there, you saw what he did in terms of they sacked Lampard for a reason, because he was doing shit. And since Tuchel come, he comfortably made top four. I say comfortably, it wasn't comfortable, was it? It was, you know, last game of the season. But you get my drift. And they'll still be there, man. I know they've had a wobbly couple of games. Liverpool had a wobbly couple of games a few weeks ago, and people were counting them out. And now look, Chelsea are good enough to turn it around, and we'll be then talking in a couple of weeks saying, remember when we doubted them? It's like, I think City, Chelsea, Liverpool are streets ahead of everyone. And yes, there will be ups and downs, but they will be there, man. There's no doubt they'll be there or thereabouts. I can't see. I would be lying if I said Man City and Liverpool are a level above them. I don't see that personally. I just see Chelsea going through a wobble, but they're still picking up points. They didn't lose to Burnley, and they didn't lose yesterday. Let's not forget that.
Yep. I hear that, man. I hear that. So segueing on to another team who didn't play well, but they picked up points.
Hey.
Yeah.
I like that. You see
yeah, man. Yeah, you know, and they're picking up points now. This is you know, 2 back-to-back clean sheets. You know, I'll hand it over to the Liverpool man, because obviously the hate is going to be real. So I'm sure he's got a lot to say. But what are your thoughts now on Manchester United post Ollie?
Look, let me just say the ghost of Ollie still remains at the club. Like, for some reason, McFred still starts for this team. I have no idea why. I think
who?
McFred.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah, for some reason they still start. Like, is Donny that shit? Like, I just don't get it. But anyway, when it comes to Man United, Max Aarons is probably the second dumbest player in the Premier League after Tyrone Mings. Yesterday decided to choke slam Ronaldo for some reason in the middle of the box. Just so unnecessarily. Like, why? Just let it go. Like, you don't need to. Max Aarons, you're about 3'8". There is no need to try choke slam a 6'5" guy. Like, just at least jump with him. Do something. Don't choke slam him. Utter stupidity. Norwich yesterday were the definition of utter stupidity, specifically in the final third. I've never seen a more stupid club and a stupid set of front three. Like, you see Josh Sargent. Genuinely, he would not start for the team down the road. Like, Josh Sargent would not play in the Jordanian league. He's that bad. And there's the guy they had, I don't know what's his name, Panchetta or something on the right wing. Like, he was just, you know, he's basically like an Alex Iwobi, like another version of him. Like, just sells you dream down the wing and does nothing. Timo Pukki, to be fair to him, actually created something when he did that shot. But massive shout out to De Gea, because he was incredible yesterday. He was absolutely incredible, and he saves United once again. And Norwich had so many chances. The Kabak header, Josh Sargent had chances, Pukki had chances. Everyone just had chance. The Gilmore shot that was blocked. I believe they hit the bar once as well. So they had so many chances. And when it comes to United, I said this.
They didn't hit the bar. I don't remember them.
As someone who has experienced Klopp, I would say this from first-person experience. You will be running out of gas 60th minute onwards. This is genuinely something that's going to happen. I saw Ronaldo in the Palace and the Norwich game. 60th minute in, the camera pans to him and he's like, you know what he does before he takes the free kick? He's now doing it while walking in the pitch. Like, that's what he does now. Because he's just, you see, the thing is, for the past 4 years they've not been running, and now mid-season you're asking them to start running and pressing. This is and I don't wish injury on anyone. By the way, shout out to Victor Lindelof. I hope he's safe, because he was holding his chest and stuff. So I really do hope he's safe and well. So big up to him. Never wish injury on anyone. But when it comes to going forward in the season, because of just how much pressure you're going to exert on opposition and how much you're going to run, you're going to see loads of muscle injuries, because this happened Klopp's first season, just loads of injuries. So it does, like, we're yet to see if United are going to cope or not. So look, overall, 3 points, clean sheet, big picture, not like De Gea being man of the match away at Norwich. I think even you as a United fan, like, that's unacceptable. But like, look, 3 points, clean sheet, move on. Brentford away is much tougher. We'll see what happens Brentford away. But look, 6 points out of 6. No complaints.
That's it. You know, I said it as well. I tweeted it and I said, you know, I can't really rate a clean sheet when your goalkeeper is man of the match. But at the end of the day, your goalkeeper is a part of the team, and that's what his job is there to do, just like the defenders' jobs are there to help defend. So really and truly, that's why you have a top-class goalkeeper, you know, and he helped us out. Igal, obviously, Manchester United beat your team, and I'm not coming here to gloat. I've already given my fair share of whipping to you Arsenal boys. But, you know, that's Man United they're on a little roll now, a roll that we've not been on under Ollie. Can you see any changes in us at the moment?
No, you're gonna go 20 games unbeaten. Don't worry. You're gonna go 20 games unbeaten. You got a new manager, bounce. You got an easy road, and as long as the referees,
I hit this guy.
as long as the referees,
It's true. Why are you denying it? Man United have always benefited from referees since the very start.
I can't believe we're in 2021 with grown men up here talking about referees.
Let me explain.
Are you gonna deny that even after VAR, Man United have been the team that got the most points? They ended the game, called the players back to take a penalty, and then blew the final whistle.
Let me finish my point, guys.
Yes, please, Igal. Blame done.
Exhibit A. The ball. What's his name? Cristiano Ronaldo or whoever it was brought down in the box by Max Aaron was exact replica of Harry Maguire bringing down Tomiyasu in the first half of the Manchester United game. The difference is that in this game it's Cristiano Ronaldo and he's given the penalty. In our case, it's a right back. A lot of people say, Tommy, I don't know you a couple of weeks ago.
Tommy, I don't know you.
And now he's playing for Arsenal. They're not going to give him the credit. So when you have the clout and when you have the certain individual star power, you're going to get calls, and there's no hiding that. It's because you have quality players and that are respected by the referees and world football. They're going to get calls that our players are just simply not going to get.
Yeah, but why does everybody go on like Manchester United get every decision? Because there's loads of no. There's loads of decisions that go Manchester United's way. There's loads of decisions that don't go our way. It's the same for us. It maybe not the same for Arsenal. I do actually believe Arsenal are probably a little bit more hard done by than some other teams.
So are we.
Swings, no, you're not. It swings and roundabouts.
We're both negative.
1 week.
Us and Arsenal both negative.
You have Cristiano. Listen, you have Cristiano. You have Cristiano Ronaldo. You have Pogba. You have all these guys. You have Fred.
You fully just gave a PR answer. Fair share. Fair share of what?
Team.
VAR has helped United every single time.
No, they don't. Because then I'll point to the Chelsea game last season when Martial's in the box. His foot gets kicked. And we don't get a penalty.
But what about
one instant?
No. Don't say one incident. Don't say one incident. Don't say one incident.
Harry Maguire kicked Rudiger in the chest in the same game and didn't get nothing.
Fact.
Not even yellow.
The thing is, it's no point saying that to me because I'm not saying Manchester United don't get decisions. I'm saying that equally, we will have a lows that don't go our way. Because this is football now, especially with VAR. Everybody gets their fair share. It's a fact. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose them. It is what it is. I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder talking about refereeing decisions all of the time. Just get on with the game. Because then when you do get a decision that goes your way, you'll then saying, it's about time. That's what you'll say. That's nonsense.
You want to know something? I will keep the same energy. If it goes my way, I don't give a shit. I'm happy. If it goes against me, I'm gonna cuss them. That's how it is. I'm gonna keep it the same way. I don't really care. That's how I am. If I see something that I'm aggrieved by, I'm gonna feel aggrieved. And if I see something that goes my way,
so I'm asking about Manchester United, and the best that you can do is talk about VAR calls. When it was a penalty. When it was actually a penalty.
No. I gave you your credit. I think you guys are going to go unbeaten. Have you seen your fixtures? You got an easy fixture list. If you beat Brentford, you pretty much are going to beat everyone this month because the rest of the games are quite simple. And then going into next month,
That's true,
Going into January, the only team that's going to be difficult for you is West Ham. So up until the West Ham game, until this 22nd of January, you have a very good route to go unbeaten for like the next 20 games. If you can, you already 5 games in, or 4 games in, unbeaten already since Ollie's left.
Yeah, it was.
I think you definitely could do that. And the thing that I'm going to look at for Manchester United is, what do you do in January? You get rid of Martial, you get rid of a couple guys. Do you bring somebody in? Do you raise the level of the squad, the quality in the squad mid-season, and push yourselves up higher up the table, possibly try to push for a Champions League or some sort of trophy? We'll see. But at the moment, I have you guys solidified for 4th, and I think you guys are going to go on a really good run, the same run that I thought Tottenham were going to go on with Antonio Conte, which hasn't happened yet.
I don't think they finished 4th, I don't.
Well, when you say it hasn't happened, since Conte's come in the league, we're unbeaten, and you did raise a point saying before that Tottenham are finished. We're 2 games. I think we're 2 points off 4th with 2 games in hand. We're a point below you guys with 2 games in hand. So if we're finished, we're all the teams around us. Tottenham are not out of it. Like, it's quite funny when Arsenal fans.
Tottenham are not.
Patrick, we're going to get to Tottenham.
But Tottenham need to sign players in the January transfer.
We do. I'm not saying that
because your squad is garbage. Respectfully,
it's quite funny.
We're talking about United. I'm sorry for
but you mentioned saying you thought he was going to go on a one.
Look at Patrick. So tribal. I love it. Come on, Patrick. Go on, Patrick.
But since Conte's come in, we have been on a run. I don't understand. It's funny that
I don't think United finished top 4 though. Genuinely speaking, I don't.
Who you got?
Wait. So you are.
It's one of you two, either Arsenal or Tottenham Hotspur. Laugh all you want. I genuinely don't think United finished top.
So you're
I fully believe it.
You're on a run, but what I'm talking
about. Wait. What's Don saying? That Tottenham or Arsenal finished above Manchester United?
West Ham are gonna drop off because of the Europa League. West Ham are not in this conversation. We've seen way too many West Hams to be fooled.
I've been saying the same thing.
What do you think, Pat? Because I want to hear a view from a neutral fan in this, because obviously the Liverpool fans gonna hate Manchester United, and you guys already said what you said. What are your thoughts?
I definitely think Man United finished 4th. I said that to you from day dot, Semps, didn't I? And even when you couldn't see it, I said it and I stuck by that. And I think Tottenham finished 5th. But I just think it's funny that it's very cheeky as well that Arsenal fans are saying that we're finished. We're 1 point behind you on the same goal difference, and we play 2 less games. So if we're finished and you lot are allegedly on some ascendancy, what's going on with the rest of the league? It's a bit strange. We're 3 points off West Ham and we play 2 games less than them. And people are giving West Ham so much flowers and credit, aren't they, Semps? But they're saying nothing about Tottenham. I just think it's a bit weird, and people aren't actually being balanced anymore. So
but you know what it is? West Ham. You don't expect them to do anything, isn't it? So they've come out and they're doing their thing. That's why I think West Ham are getting their flowers. With your Tottenhams, you're kind of expecting, because Tottenham are a big club. Especially now with Conte. You've got Conte in now, so I think there's going to be a level of expectation there. Yeah. It's the same with Man United now, with Ralph in charge. Rival fans are going to be expecting us to do something, and if we don't, they're going to try and beat us with a stick straight away. Don is waiting to say something. But the fact of the matter is for Manchester United, we've been in a bad place. We've had Ollie, and it's going to take time to undo what he was doing and get Ralph's point across, get the way he wants to play. This is football. We're all meant to be football fans. We can put our agendas aside and our hate aside, but we should understand how football works. And you cannot expect Ralph to come in and turn things around just like that. It's the same with Conte. It's questions I've asked you, Pat. Do we think that he's struggling to get his point across to the players? Not that he's a bad manager, but can he get Spurs playing the way he wants Spurs to play? And when I've watched Spurs at times, I think that, you know what? I think they're struggling a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And you're right. We are struggling. But Conte being Conte, he is a good manager and he has got a tune out of us. But we need players in January. The midfield isn't good enough. That Skip and Højbjerg double pivot, it doesn't work in a sense. There's no creativity there. The wing backs need to create more. They're doing that, to be fair. Obviously, we need a striker that can actually score some goals. If that's not Harry Kane, you get someone else in. Yeah, there's definitely, and defensive wise, we're really pissed that we lost Romero because he was looking good. Even in the games where we were getting beat, you could see the quality of him. And then unfortunately he went down. Dyer and Sanchez or Dyer Tanganga isn't good enough as well. So yeah, there's definitely places where we can upgrade. But it's I just, yeah, like I said, I just think people need to be balanced because people are singing Arsenal and West Ham's praises, but we're right there with 2 games, haven't played 2 games less. But I think that just goes to show the quality of the league. Sorry, Seps, because everyone's beating everyone. You would think West Ham, West Ham were comfortably in 4th before, and now all the teams are right near them because they've dropped a lot of points recently. Arsenal went on a good run, and then they've kind of dropped some points. Obviously, Man United were looking good for a bit, then they've dropped points. So it's not a given.
We've turned it around. We were looking poor, and now
So, but it's still tight there, man. A couple games either way, and anyone can. Even Leicester now is slowly getting back into a decent. No, Leicester are 8th now. So what I'm trying to say is that if
Leicester are done.
No, Leicester are not there, but you know what I mean. Like Leicester is still knocking on the door as well, and yeah, Leicester on their day can beat anyone. I don't think they're a good team anymore, but they can definitely take points off you, 100%.
One thing we all have to remember, though, people, is we're talking. It's the 12th of December now. You know what I mean? There's a lot of football still to be played, and we're coming into a Christmas period now where a lot can happen.
Why is everyone telling me to take a Origi? We don't.
let me jump in.
No, we can keep him. We need a Divock winner again.
Let me jump in on Tottenham. Okay. First things first. You lost to a team with no logo in the Conference League. You're currently most likely going to be knocked out of the Conference League, so that's probably going to benefit you in the league. Honestly, it might benefit you in the league in the long run. But when you look at your team and you tell me, oh, you're in and amongst there, I get it. You're a fan of that club. You're going to have an affinity for that club. Same way I'm going to have affinity for my club. But Harry Kane's been underperforming. Lucas Moura has not been good. Reguilon has been poor after his revelation.
Lucas Moura has been good, so that's one thing. He has been good.
Yeah, he scored the last game. Big up to him.
No, he has been good. He has been good. And Reguilon
I rate Son. Yeah. Your midfield, Højbjerg, has been really good. I don't know. I don't really rate Oliver Skip, and Dembele has not been that good. Tintanga I rate better than actually the new right back you guys got in Emerson Royal. Ben Davis is still in your team. Eric Dyer is still in your team. Sanchez has been playing decent, I think, but I don't really know how well the new signing Romero has been doing. All I remember is seeing him play well against West Ham, even though you guys lost. Yeah. And then Lloris is Mr. Reliable. I actually rate Lloris. But when I look at your team, I see a lot of aging players. I see a team that has not actually started their rebuild. They're currently trying to sustain whatever they have from the leftovers from Pochettino. And that's why I say there's a decline. Your best players are Kane and Son, and the rest of the team is a shell of its former self. You don't have a Moussa Dembele. You don't have an Eriksen. You don't have a Vertonghen or Adebayor. You don't have Danny Rose or Trippier or even Kyle Walker-Peters not Kyle Walker-Peters. Why did I say Kyle Walker-Peters?
Don't worry, man. It happens.
The only thing you have left from the Pochettino era that is decent is Lloris, Son, and Kane. You don't have a spine. Your team is in decline. Your fan base, some of them realize that. Some of them want Harry Kane gone. But in my opinion, I'm not telling you nothing some people haven't already told you. I generally feel like Tottenham Football Club are in decline. And this summer, instead of fixing their problems, they just tried to put bandages.
Okay, all right. Let me spin it another way. If we're in decline, you said all of that. I could rebuttal all of it, but I don't want to go back and forth with you forever. But if we're in decline, where do we finish the season, in your honest opinion?
7th or 6th?
7th or 6th. Okay.
Do you really think that, Igal?
I know. Is this you being honest, or is this you just talking as an Arsenal fan?
No, I'm being honest. That's where I genuinely believe. I said it in the summer. I looked at the squad. I looked at what you guys did, and you guys brought in Paratici to fix the situation, which is actually going to be a bigger hindrance because he's gonna bring a bunch of guys and try to give them large wages of free transfers, and it's gonna fuck you guys over long.
This guy Paratici was one of the reasons why Juventus was so successful. He comes with a proven track record. He's a very good DOF. You talked about Reguilon. Reguilon's been really good. Reguilon's been really good since.
I disagree with that one.
Reguilon has been good.
Reguilon has been good since I watch my team week in and week out. So I'm gonna say what is the truth, isn't it? Reguilon's been really good.
That's fair.
He's chipping in the goals and assists, and he's productive on that left-hand side.
And Ben Davis has been good too. And guess what? Ben Davis is still not.
I'm not singing Ben Davis's praise. You talked about our left back. He's been good. Oliver Skip is a very good player. And anyone
Lord, this is where you lose.
Oliver Skip is a very good player. He is.
Yeah. He's 21 years old. I'll give him credit. He's 21 years old.
Other Spurs fans that I speak to are talking on.
Oliver Skip is a good player, man. And over the course of the year, I think everyone will see it. Like
it's not Skip Dino though, innit? Yeah. So that's why.
I know. But
I'll give him.
Certain players have watched him against Chelsea where he had a stinker and said, he's dead. But if you
can I just say something on Tottenham? Like, look, I don't hate Tottenham. I have no problem with Tottenham whatsoever. I think, look, the three that are going for the top four. United, I think there's too much instability going on there. I think new manager and the style the manager wants to play doesn't suit them. With Arsenal, inexperienced manager, but 1 game a week could help them. But it just depends whether Arteta keeps fucking up or not. With Tottenham Hotspur, the best manager out of all 3 clubs going for the top 4, but the worst squad out of all 3 teams. I think Tottenham have worse players than Arsenal as well. The problem with Tottenham right now is, in my honest opinion, generally speaking, I think Tottenham have about 12 players in their 25-man squad who I'd say are championship quality. Like, they're just not good enough. And that's my honest opinion. Like, I think I've watched plenty of football. Like, people know I'm a football fanatic. And I've seen, like, Dele Alli, like, has probably been the worst player I've seen this entire season. I think Harry Kane is extremely off form. Skip, Winks, what's his name? He was just moving like Deli Tentacion, bro.
Don, our squad is worse than Arsenal's. You're honestly telling me that?
Yes, wow. I would say it with chest. Listen, I have nothing against Tottenham. Patrick, I am on your team. You finish top 4 means United don't finish top 4. I would love for you to do well. Yeah, that's what. But here's my final state. Let me just say final sentence. Let me just say one thing. If by January like 15th you don't have 5 players in, you are not finishing top 4. Because that team is stinky. Like,
we're not finishing top 4 anyway. I don't believe
you don't. Patrick, no, Patrick, you can. I promise you can. I promise you can.
You hope they are.
I am not hoping. Antonio Conte. Son, plenty of good players, but around them you need better players. That's it.
Yeah, we do. 100. No, I hope you're right. I pray and hope you're right, but I can't see it. I've got to be honest and be logical, and my football brain and everything tells me.
Wow.
But so yeah.
You just called me logical for once in your club finish 4th. Wow.
No, I'm just being honest. I can't see it, innit? It's like,
Patrick, if January 10th comes along and you make 4 new signings, with Antonio Conte there, what makes you so sure that you didn't finish 4th?
Yeah,
what's stopping you?
We got to see where we are there and see what happens. I mean, things could change.
I hope you do make signings.
So do I, mate. Especially if you're talking the way you're talking, and I hope we do.
That was funny. I didn't expect that to kick off the way it did. We're gonna have to move on because we got to wrap up soon. I wanted to get you lot's thoughts on Newcastle because it was a shame we didn't have Dave in on today. But they got beat up 4-0 today. And yeah, man. Igal, do you think? Oh, you said it. Go on, Igal.
They're getting relegated. Newcastle getting relegated. I think we played them the third last game of the season. We're gonna solidify the relegation. I think unless these guys go out and spend and get like big time players, like maybe like Aaron Ramsey, and like they get a Coutinho or they get a big name striker from other leagues. They need some massive help. And defense, they need a new center back. Where are they going to get these players from? I don't know. Are they even linked to some people right now? I don't see them linked to any big time players. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But personally, I think they're going to lack the quality. I think maybe in a couple of years' time, maybe 10 years down the road when they come back up and they have decent players and they're ready to compete, then we can talk about them as a relevant club. But at the moment, they are at the bottom. They're in the trenches. They can't score. They can't defend. They can't do nothing. They're not going to win games, and their only hope.
Why are you going in on Newcastle? They're a dead horse.
Their only hope is Gini Wijnaldum comes back to them. They get
Gini Wijnaldum not leaving PSG to go back to
Coutinho.
No
Somehow
way.
they get Gini Wijnaldum, Coutinho, a center back, and another striker. That's the only way they're doing it. They need 4 players throughout the whole squad.
Forget 4 players. That's an underestimate. If by January 1st, Newcastle have not signed 7 players already, January 1st, they're going down.
January.
They might as well enjoy Sky Bet Championship or whatever the fuck it's called, because that's where they're gonna play. January 1, forget 2, 3. By January 1st, if 7 signings are not holding that Newcastle shirt, they are down. That team is utter garbage. That team is utter garbage. That team is the definition of the sewers of football. Joe Linton still plays for that football club. Dubravka, if you want to talk about camera saves, Dubravka is camera save. Jamal Lascelles, oh my God, he was the best defender 10 years ago. Now he still plays for Newcastle. That shows you his level. And everything that it's literally 10 sticks and Saint Maximin just trying to do FIFA Street. That's literally it. That's Newcastle. So 7 players January 1st, or they're down. Bye-bye. See you later. That's the only way they can stay up. Because that team, when I look at it, I think championship. That team is amazing if they're going away to Coventry City. Oh my God, it's incredible. If they're playing at home to Nottingham Forest, brilliant. But if they're going away to Anfield, you see this Thursday, it could be a bloodbath when they come to Anfield. Mo Salah, if you have Mo Salah in your fantasy, triple captain Mo Salah, I'm telling you right now. Triple captain. This is gonna be mad, bro.
You know what? They've got a tough run in as well, Pat, isn't it? In the next, few games,
it's not looking good for them, man. They needed to pick up a few more points. They did okay for a little bit, but the thing is, Daves is my guy, and big up Daves. He's going to be jumping on next week. He couldn't make today, coming back from Leicester. The timing wasn't on his side, and he was
at the game.
Yeah, he was at the game, so he couldn't make it back. That's why he's not on today. But it's looking bleaker and bleaker. And Eddie Howe, I didn't really believe in him, if I'm being honest. I know a lot of people said he's a good manager. He understands what it takes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You know what? We've got a comment here from Mimi. It's all very well buying players, but you need players experienced in fighting for their lives and maneuvering a relegation battle.
That's
obviously, Watford also lost to Brentford, and they've got a manager with experience. Do we think, Igal, that Watford can avoid the drop this season?
Yeah, Watford.
I think so. Yeah, I think Watford was
have quality. Watford have quality in that team.
They were unlucky. They were unlucky on Friday night. That game could have went either way.
Dennis is a baller.
Yeah, Dennis is sick.
That guy's a baller.
And they were missing Sarr as well. To be fair, Watford actually have a good team. Like, even we joke, I know Don hit the nail on the head with the Newcastle players, but Watford, if you look at their team, they got some good players in there.
Do you agree with that, Don? That Watford got?
Yeah, I definitely do. Watford have good
Burnley's going to go down before Watford.
Burnley going down, for the love of God.
Yeah,
God, I pray every day. Burnley down, please.
I've had enough. I said it last week on here, and people said, "Wow, you're being a bit harsh." But Burnley need to go, man. We've seen it all from them. I'm tired of the way they play. I'm tired of their setup. I'm tired of that cookie monster, Sean Dyche. I just need them gone, and we need another team.
I can't stand that football club.
Yeah.
This comment here: Watford score quite a lot, so we'll nick wins here and there.
I agree.
I always think when you're in a relegation battle, you need to be able to score goals. And they've definitely got goals in their team. So, I
think the 3 teams going down are set in stone, in my opinion. Norwich, Newcastle, and Burnley.
Yeah, I would say that's about right.
The only other team that I would hypothetically see going down is if major injuries happens to Leeds and like Rafinha injury.
I hope Leeds get relegated.
If
Rafinha on a discount.
I hear, Gal, you're right though. Leeds are a bit.
They're one Rafinha injury away from going down, because that man literally scores every game for them. He's literally scoring every game or assisting. It's
They should enjoy the last season of him, because he's coming to Liverpool.
No,
Inside information dropped right now. He's coming to Liverpool.
Oh, really?
Mark my
Well,
word.
Drop.
Mark my word.
Make a
Same
note.
agent as Fabinho. You're gonna see him in Liverpool colours next season.
If he comes to
Fine,
Liverpool, you have the second coming of Di Maria in your team. That's how good he is.
I love it. I love it.
He
I'm
needs to
in love
improve a
with it.
bit. No, you lot are gassing him up. Come on, he's a good player, but he does need to improve.
Patrick,
There's
if
moments where
he was in your team
If
right
he
now,
signed for Tottenham tomorrow, he'd be your best player. Relax.
if he was at
wouldn't.
Tottenham,
Come on,
he would be better
stop
than
it, stop
he'd be
it,
better
stop
than
it.
everybody bar Son.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many moments where he drifts in and out of games. Like, he's literally.
And
I
that's
think he's
what
a good
Klopp
player.
does. Klopp will make him drift in
Yeah,
game.
that's it. But a better manager would get better out of him. I agree. But he's
You know
not.
what?
He's not there yet, lads. Come on, we've got. To be
We're gonna put this question out on Twitter at some point this week. See what the people them say. Because unfortunately, gentlemen, we have to wrap it up here. I know Don has to go, and I have to wrap up as well. So first of all, I just want to thank everybody in the comments. If you are new, please hit that like button. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button. Follow us. We're coming at you every Sunday with good content because we've got great guests like what we had on today with great conversation. It's been a pleasure having you on, Don. Been a pleasure having you on, Igal. Thank you very, very much. Sign out for me, please. Igal, if you can start, sign out. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at EGTVEGAL on Twitter and on my YouTube channel called EGTV. I can see Mimi's not happy with that. Is she a Newcastle fan?
No, she's Watford.
Watford.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Die hard Watford.
Oh, is that Maya Rose from
Yes.
Big up, Maya.
Yeah, shout out Mimi still. And shout out everybody else. Daniel
Love
Wade.
to Mimi, man. Love to Mimi.
Jade Dwelle, yeah, everybody in the comments, thank you very much. But yeah, sign out, Igal. Sorry, we interrupted you there.
No, yeah, that's it. Honestly, EGTV, that's my YouTube channel. You can check me out there. I do TikToks also, but I'm not that big there. But yeah, check it out on Twitter also, EGTV Igal.
Wicked. I'm going to fling all of the links in the description, people. Don, can you sign out as well, please?
I mean, listen, I don't do TikTok because I'm a grown-ass man. But anyway, you can find my channel. This is football. Come over, subscribe. It's a channel for everyone. Make sure you subscribe to EGTV as well. You can find me there. Absolutely incredible content. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. Leave a like on the video right now. The like button is free. Stop being stingy. Press it right now. Subscribe to the channel as well. And listen, it's been a phenomenal stream. I've actually quite enjoyed this one. So I really had fun. Big up to you both. Big up to Igal as well. It's been quite an incredible one, man.
House almost burnt down, but we're good.
Pat.
Yeah, I want to thank both our guests. I mean, Igal and Don. I chop it up with them on Twitter all the time. Good guys that I've met and really linked up with this year. As you can see, the content you guys make our show what it is. So thank you, man. We love it. We love your enthusiasm for your teams. Obviously, your football, so it always comes across well. And yeah, man, obviously you can catch me here on Views TV Official on the Coys.com podcast every Monday, but we're not on tomorrow because obviously our game got postponed. And then I'm on the and then I know I'm getting jittery, man. I need Tottenham to get back ASAP. So hopefully we get our game against Leicester during our next weekend. And then also you can catch me on the terrace every Monday and Thursday, or Monday and Friday, depending on the schedule. The Top 6 show with Terry and all the guys there. Igal's part of the team as well. So yeah, man, that's it really.
Wicked, man. So I'm Semps, and this was everyone's a pundit. And these were my pundits, people. Until next week, we are out. Have a blessed evening and a blessed week. Love to you all. Bless.